Welcome to Health and Harmony Beyond the Teeth, where we dive into all subjects that will help you become healthier and happier. As a dentist, I believe dentistry is more than just teeth, so I created this show to focus on overall health. We will hear from leading experts about eating better, exercising better, breathing better, and sleeping better. We want to help you create harmony in your life so you can live your life to the fullest. We want you to thrive. Hello and welcome to Health and Harmony Beyond the Teeth. I'm your host, Dr. Hal Stewart. Today we're going to have part 2 of our 4-part series on nutrition. A good analogy would be your car. Your car cannot operate without good clean gas. It can't operate without oil. And you need radiator fluid in the radiator. If you don't have those fluids, then your car is eventually not going to run anymore. So last week we talked about protein. Today we're going to talk about carbohydrates, and I think carbohydrates are probably one of the most misunderstood foods or food sources that's out there, because they've gotten a bad name. Oh, too many carbs. So we need carbohydrates, but we need good ones. And then the radiator fluid would be the fats. We need fats as well. And then there's one more, steering fluid or brake fluid, and we're going to talk about those in episode 4. That'll be supplements and chemicals that are in our foods like alcohol or caffeine, things like that. So today, again, I want to welcome our guests, Kelsey Cherne, the Outlaw FitCamp Mckinney. She's the owner and head trainer. And then one of our trainers, Betsy Paxton. Thank you guys for being back again. And excited to talk about carbohydrates because, like I said before, Kelsey, carbohydrates have really over the years got a bad name. You know, we want something with low carbs. Well, you know, if that's all you do is eat low carb things, you're not going to be healthy because you need to eat the right kind of carbs in the right amounts. So why don't you just jump in there and tell us a little bit about carbs. What are carbohydrates? Why are they important?
Well, I will start out by saying carbs are not the enemy. They're okay. You need them. They are, just think of them as your gas for your gas tank. They're your quick source of energy. So I recommend, like, when you get up, get your day started, we want to get some healthy carbs in. You want healthy carbs in around your workouts, and then even midday, because it's kind of, you have carbs, fats, they're both an energy source. Carbs are quick acting, fast acting. We're going to get quick energy from them. Fats, we're going to talk about in the next episode, but they're a little bit slower absorbing. So there's a better time for them in your day. Carbs, morning, mid-afternoon, keep that gas tank full. And basically, you kind of want to think about it. You want it to go to bed with that gas tank empty. So, but the key is, and what I like to say with healthy carbs, if a kid would like it, you probably shouldn't eat it.
That's good.
I mean, there are exceptions, but so I think the main thing to remember about all of these things that we're talking about is too much of anything is bad, right? We need proteins, we need carbs, we need fats, we need all of those things in moderation, and they all serve a purpose within our body. Carbs, like I said, they're a big energy source. They actually are a big part of our gut health too. They help kind of create density in your gut, which helps with digestion and all of those things. They help keep fiber, you know, they're full of fiber, which again, that goes into our gut health, keeping us satisfied. I think the biggest confusion on carbs is what's a good carb, what's a bad carb.
Yeah. Why don't you
basically
start with the bad ones?
So the bad one, I kind of like to say if it was man-made, it's probably a bad carb. Breads, pastas, pizza, chips, things like those. Those are not clean carbs. Your clean carb sources are any vegetables, any fruits, oatmeal, your grains, potatoes. They're not bad. Potatoes are good. Sweet potatoes are great. But pretty much if it came from the earth, it's a good carb source. If it was man-made, more than likely, it's not a great carb source. It's not clean. It's not in its natural state.
If it's in the middle of the grocery store.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good. We talked about that last time. Betsy was saying if it's not around the perimeters of the grocery store, then it's probably a bad carb because all the good stuff is on the produce.
Yes.
You know, the fresh meats, the fish. They're all around the perimeters. So that's a good way to remember it as well.
And I would all of our macros are big. Our proteins, our fats, and our carbs. They all serve a purpose. And one of those purposes, all of them play a part in, is your hormone balance. And your hormone balance within your body has so much, it's so connected to your energy levels and how you're feeling, even your brain function. A lot of people who are on very low carb diets, you probably feel some of that brain fog and you feel yourself thinking slower. I have a great example. So I do bodybuilding shows, and I competed in a show, and I knew that I wanted to put some mass on my upper body. So I waited until the last 3 weeks before I really started cutting. But what I did is I pulled all my carbs, and yes, bodybuilders do some of these things, and it's not healthy, but I pulled all of my carbs, which after 7 days, you go into ketosis. That's probably something for another show. But the connection to your brain function was so prominent for me. Like, I remember my kids would come ask me a question, and I could feel my brain thinking, but I couldn't get it out. I remember at one point I was driving, and I felt like my reflexes were so slow. And it's just, you need all of them, everything in balance, but carbs are super clean carbs are super important for us.
Yeah. Bodybuilding is interesting because it's almost like a study or an experiment in what happens over a long period of time, but in a very short period of time. So, you pulled all your carbs and you couldn't think correctly. So that tells you right there that there's some good qualities to carbs. We really need them. So, processed sugar. We're going to have another episode just on how to stop sugar from your diet. And I'm talking about not sugar from fruit, although you can overdo that too. But processed, white sugar that's processed, man-made, that's literally a poison. And that's a form of carbohydrates.
It is. And what I like to say is sugar feeds cancer. Our body was not meant to process, a can of Coke that's 6 cups of sugar in a can of Coke. I don't even remember what the breakdown is, but our body, and like I said, when we talked about protein, an important part of our body function and our hormone function is keeping those insulin levels maintained. And when you eat simple sugars, white sugars, you're going to skyrocket them.
Yeah.
Another big part of kind of the aging process and our dental health is, what does white sugar do to our teeth?
Yeah.
It rots them.
Right. Well, it's the way the body processes the carbohydrates. It creates an acidic body alkalinity. The alkalinity is very low and very acidic, and this acidity drives inflammation, and inflammation drives disease. So the more sugar you eat, the more processed sugar you eat, the higher your susceptibility to things like cancer, any inflammatory disease. It's going to increase your susceptibility to that. So one of the best things you can do, but one of the hardest things, I heard a speaker actually earlier today. He said, simple and easy are two different things. Living a healthy lifestyle is simple. You get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you go to the gym, and then you eat really, really healthy. That's really simple. But is it easy? No. It's very easy to grab McDonald's or Whataburger on the way home. That's easy, and it's simple, but it's not the best thing for you. So junk food.
Right. Well, and I want to circle back to talking about your alkalinity and your acidity. Mm-hmm. So the more alkaline your body is, the more it will be able to absorb the nutrients from your food. So I even recommend, water. Water is a super important part of our body and what it needs. But I recommend adding fresh lemon juice or lime juice, because that will help. That acidity in the citrus helps keep your digestive system a little more alkaline. Yeah. So then when you do eat your healthy carbs, meaning salads and vegetables and things like that, you can actually absorb the nutrients. In another episode, when we go into some of the smaller micronutrients, some of those come from your vegetables. So just to circle back, we don't want an acidic body, which is what sugar and even for some people, gluten creates that environment. We want a more alkaline so that we can absorb the healthy foods that we are eating. We can actually absorb the nutrients from those.
So any of these good things that good carbs do for your body that Kelsey has talked about, bad carbs pretty much kind of do the opposite. Like good carbs are really important for gut health. A lot of bad carbs, like processed sugar, that's not so good for the gut health. The neurologic response, the nervous system, is affected by carbohydrates as well. And it can be good or bad. So Kelsey, tell a little bit about that.
So a lot of times if you eat a candy bar or you eat high sugar things, you'll kind of feel that jittery effect or whatever. Well, your simple, healthier carbs actually have the reverse effect. They help kind of keep your nervous system grounded. They actually help with anxiety. But I would say as a whole, right? Like we have proteins, we have carbs, we have fats. Too much of anything is bad, but it's as a whole and having that balance that's really going to help with all of that. So I guess the bottom line is don't jump on the no carb bandwagon or mental state, because carbs are not bad. We just need the healthy complex carbs, which pretty much if it came from the ground, it's probably good as long as you don't do too much.
Yeah. Getting back to my car analogy, I got a deal on my car. The engine light came on, and they went and tested it, hooked the little computer, and it said, "You've been buying bad gas." And so luckily it was something that had not gone too far and there was no damage done. But that's what carbs are. Of my analogies, I would say carbs are gas.
Yes.
Because you can put bad gas in your car and you're eventually going to pay for it, or you can put good high quality
and your car
gas.
will run,
Yeah.
but it's going to be sluggish. Or you put the good gas and you'll be like a race car driver.
And similar to gasoline prices nowadays, the good carbs are going to cost a little bit more. Not $7 a gallon, though, hopefully. So anyway, so part 2, carbs today, just kind of rehashing. Carbs are good if you have the right kind of carbs. Bad carbs are really bad. Some sources of good carbs quickly.
Fruits, vegetables, potatoes, oatmeal,
Peas.
rice.
Yep.
Yeah,
Lentils.
lentils, peas. Basically, let's make it simple. If it's white and it has white flour, it has white sugar, it's not a good source.
Oh, I was going to ask you. So just a few more minutes.
Except white potato.
You can buy like almond flour and almond meal to make, like I've made pizza crust with it before.
Yes.
That good?
There are good recipes with almond flour, coconut flour. There's a lot you can do with cauliflower. With rice cauliflower, you can do a lot.
Yeah.
I can share a recipe for a great protein pumpkin bread, a great protein ball that's made with almond flour. I have a protein banana bread that's made with almond flour. Yes, there are other sources that are not white flour that will still keep it a complex, healthy carb.
Yeah, I love pizza. I really do. And there are some great pizzas, even in the frozen food section, that have cauliflower crust. I'm not saying to eat those for every meal, but every now and then, if you want a pizza, lentil crust, cauliflower crust, it really is very tasty. I don't really see the difference. Well, thank you guys for being in again. And before we come back with our song, because we always end with a song, listen to our resident essential oil expert, Landis Feltz. She's going to give you some great information in just a couple of minutes about essential oils of the day. So Landis, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Dr. Stewart. I'm going to talk about probably the most famous essential oil today, and that is lavender. So don't turn this off if you feel like lavender is something that I already know all about it. So lavender in the Young Living line comes in both vitality and in the topical and aromatherapy version. That's what I've got right here. Lavender is known for what? Very calming. I mean, we have people now in commercials that are starting to make air fresheners and things like that all have essential oil of lavender. I always chuckle when I see that. Not that essential oil of lavender is not great, but how many other chemicals and fragrances do we have, artificial fragrances do we have in those type of products, in candles, in many things like that? That is something that you really have got to dive into and you've got to research. If you need more help with that, I'm happy to chat with you regarding that. However, let's go back to lavender. So lavender is a product that you can use on pets, on adults, on children. It is very, very light. Lavender is very well known in France. And of course, Young Living has a farm in France. It's very well known there. But they're very well known in France for their skincare. Most French products have a lavender essential oil in them. Okay. So also it's, we decorate with it now, but what it's primarily known for is calming. Okay. So it's another one of those oils that you can stick in your purse, put in your briefcase. You're about to do a presentation. And so you rub lavender on and you end up making yourself feel better. I'm actually going to do an aromatherapy demonstration here if that is the case for you. So if you have a kid, you're more than welcome to put it on their chest. You can rub it on the bottom of their feet, and then it's just going to help calm them down. And for you, before you go into work or if you're in a stressful situation, you're going to take your lavender right here. It's got a perfect little orifice on the top. The larger hole is actually for air to come through. There's a pinhole in this rim right here that's where the oil comes out of. And so when you go to grab a drop of oil, you're going to tilt this and you're going to roll that slightly until you hit that pin drop at the bottom. It's so small you can't even see it most of the time. So I'm rolling. I'm still rolling. And now I'm just going to drop. Okay. So here's your oil. You're going to go like this and you're going to rub it on your hands. You're going to cup over your nose and your mouth. Close your mouth. We're always teaching about what? Orofacial myofunctional therapy, and not mouth breathing, but nasal breathing. This is a great product to help with that. So you're going to cup here. You're going to inhale deeply, and we're going to do something called box breathing. Box breathing uses 4 by 4 by 4 by 4. You're going to inhale 4, hold 4. Exhale slowly, controlled 4, and then hold 4. I'll just give you a demo. I won't count. I won't do the 4. So if you're doing that presentation, or if your child just spilled, fingernail polish all over the floor and you don't want to say something you don't need to say, guess what? Use your lavender, put it on your hands, use that inhalation technique. That is the fastest way for anything to be able to enter your bloodstream. It works wonderfully. Another great way to use this is in your diffuser. Put it in your diffuser. It helps you at night. It can help calm you down, and keep your mind from racing and just let you go to sleep. Normal sleep should take you, when you get into bed, it should take you anywhere 15 to 30 minutes to fall asleep. If you fall asleep in 30 seconds, you're exhausted. If you fall asleep after 30 minutes, then we have to shut this off. We've got to put some things at rest here. This helps you do that. Lavender is the Swiss Army knife. We also use it for skin things. I told you it's great for facial, but let's say that we have an abrasion. We have used lavender many times to help ourselves with that. It just works for so many things. If you need some information regarding lavender, please let me know. Give me a call. I would be more than happy to answer your questions. And Dr. Stewart, back to you.
All right. Thank you so much again for being with us today. As we always do, we end every episode with a song picked by our guest that has some meaning to him or her. So, Kelsey, what have you picked for us today?
Good Morning by Max Frost.
Good Morning by Max Frost.
You're eating those healthy complex carbs, getting your morning started, I would just turn this song on every day. It's the best way to start your day.
And we're going to drink coffee through the entire song.
Water.
Water. That's water. Let's listen to a little bit of this.
Feeling fresh like a Ziploc new man. OJ with a champagne tuna. Holy Ghost running through ya.
Cheers.
Hell yeah, it's a new hallelujah. Popping like the top off a bottle and I ain't stopping yet. Baby, it's a brand new day. Ain't no clouds hanging over me. Something doesn't feel the same.
Eat my oatmeal.
You know, I love this because every day, literally, it doesn't matter what you did earlier today or yesterday, tomorrow, right now is a brand new day. It is never too late to put down the bad stuff and start the good stuff. And that doesn't mean you can't go out to eat every now and then and have a big steak. But again, everything within reason and you know, live healthy, live happy, live long is what I say. So thank you guys for being here. It's been Health and Harmony Beyond the Teeth. I'm Dr. Hal Stewart. We'll see you next time.